Come on, honey, it's time for school.
But Mum, I don't feel well.
Oh, honey, you feel like you have a fever. Let me check your pupils. Oh, I know what fever this is.
Directly under the post, loom for him at dummy half. On to Marcus Marsh. Gives the ball out to Hasselman. Hasselman's got plenty of room to move to Schmoodle. He goes, the line, he's over!
Good footy, boys.
They had the numbers, Aberdeen. They had the score, but Schmoodle in a good dry part of the field showed great strength. And Timmy Bridget, dummy half. Long pass out the back to Jake Watts. Into Topless. Topless has found room to move! He's under the posts! Game lead! 8-6!
Great job at Thomas. A little change in direction again. We talked about it early. A little step off the right, then the left, and straight under the pace.
Yeah, just a change of direction and pace.
The defence came up hard, Bomber, and gave Hayden Topless.
Welcome to another edition of On the Couch, a full couch this week. Last week we had the week off due to the makeup room and the player unavailability. We couldn't get enough makeup on Matty Kenny. The lights were pretty bright, as Marcus said when he came in. But I'd like to say g'day, Benko. We haven't spoken this week.
No.
It's a first for us.
We spoke on the weekend.
Yes.
Welcome to everyone. Fantastic. We've got a full bench.
Full bench. With us Ryan Holman, of course, from the Murrumbidgee Mavericks, and been in the media a bit, but we'll talk about that soon. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, Reggie. Yourself?
Coming along good?
Yeah, getting there, mate.
Getting there? And of course, Bowser, the long-term steed that's been here on and off, but we're back together again, mate.
Cheers, Reg. Good to be here to make my debut on the couch, mate.
Debut on the couch. How do you reckon you go?
Oh, I'll battle through it.
I'll take in about 40 minutes.
I reckon Channel 9 call up next week.
I don't know about that, mate.
Anyway, boys, like I said, and then sitting next to me as well is Jesse Rutter, Group 21's #1 referee. What do you call yourself?
I wouldn't go that far.
Nick Martin will be having kittens now.
Hey, what about Glenn Davis? He'd be blowing up too.
I'll probably worry about Dave.
No, like,
Text message, surely.
yeah, Jesse, thanks for making the trip up, mate. It's always great. And,
Good to be here, mate. As Martin said, good to make debut.
yeah, well, mate, you're always welcome. We've got plenty of people putting their hand up. Adam Hamilton, Hoogs, Dave Manane, they're all putting their hand up to come in. Seth Morgan from out at Merriwar, Sophie Casson. So,
Yeah.
mate, you're more than welcome.
Couch.
Yeah, but you guys got the call up first because you guys are special. So. Hey, very special, Marcus. Anyway, Ryan, of course it's been well noted in the media about your injury, but things are coming along really well.
Yeah, mate, it was pretty full on when it first all happened.
Yep.
Pretty overwhelmed by all the messages and phone calls and whatnot from everyone around Group 21 and further. So you give us a call. When I was in hospital, you give me our boy a call and said, when I'm good, come on the couch, and I really want to just come in, just give everyone a big thanks, and stuff happens like that, but when everyone rallies around you and shows you the support, makes things easier. So, yeah.
Well said. It's an unfortunate thing, like I said, and the rugby league community has definitely been there for you with the support, and anything we can do too. We're here to help out. So
The support, Rhino, has been overwhelming, and I don't know if you've been asked, but we've been asked by people coming up to us while we've been doing the games, asking, have you heard how Ryan is?
Yeah.
So that's a great thing.
No, it's been unreal, really. I remember when I first got out of hospital, I was driving home up back to Murrumbidgee to get back to watch the boys play, and I said, Dad, just hook in here at the Crowded House Cafe in Scone. I said, I'll just run and get a milkshake. And I went in there and got about looks from everyone at the cafe, and then the chick behind the bar goes, this one's on us. Off you go. Gives a free milkshake and that. So, and she doesn't even watch footy, so just little gestures like that, everyone just shows you a bit of support.
Great stuff.
No, that's fantastic, and like I said, I wasn't at the game, but everything will take its course from here on in. So as long as you're doing all right, that's the main thing. But
all right.
When you're in hospital, I tell you what, your dad had a great night at the footy. I tell you that right now.
Yeah, I know.
His Roosters didn't win, but he barely made the bus.
took full advantage of that free bar tab, didn't he?
What a big bloke would.
Had mine schooner.
Yeah, I think you should be commended, Holman, and your family as well, the way you handled the situation. And you said it's a very unfortunate situation. You don't wish it on anyone. And the way you guys handled it, I think you should be commended, you and your family, mate. It's been a credit to you. I was away at the time, I was overseas, and just to hear the feedback from what went on, and I heard from it from over in America. And it's unbelievable support from the local community, and yeah, it was really hats off to you and your family, Holman.
Yeah, for sure. Cheers, Val. Yeah, it was pretty good. A lot of messages from everyone, and I was going to give a big shout out to Aberdeen Footy Club. I was there watching the first grade game between Aberdeen and Scone, and the president, Peter Fitzsimmons, come up to us with an envelope and said that last weekend the boys did the club did a bit of a fundraiser for us, so he come up and give us an envelope with a couple $100 in it and stuff like that. So there's not, I've only played 1 year with Aberdeen, that was under sixes, so for them to do something like that for me, just to go out of their ways, means a fair bit.
We've got a pretty good rugby league community here, Benko. I think things are heading in the right direction.
Mate, that's never been in question really from all the clubs. They dig deep when it matters, mate. That's the main thing.
But Jesse Rutter, you are the first one on the couch, mate. Welcome.
Yeah, no.
First one to be thrown into the boiling tank.
Good to be here. I'm sure a couple of others wouldn't mind a crack, but yeah, I got him first.
So who talking about those, who wouldn't mind coming in? Who do you reckon's got a head for TV?
I reckon Corey Martin would have a good nudge at it.
Corey Martin. What about Dave Windle? Do you reckon we get much out of him?
You could try and twist his arm, but I'm not sure how to go.
I reckon Reggie, Hainsey, Shane, he'd bust an Achilles getting through that door to sit on one of these couches here, mate. I can tell you now.
Have you actually spoken to him?
I haven't spoken to him since early in the year. I think I spoke to him,
because you've called him out a number of times.
I have. I still want to know what's the difference between a loose carry and a strip.
That's what we've got this boy here for. We're going to go over.
He doesn't know. Hasn't got a clue.
But it was great having Matty Edwards up there on the commentary with us here the other weekend when we were in Singleton with Matty Schultz. You'd love that, Brad Schultz, and reuniting the pair when Matt sent Brad off in the grand final. It was a little bit of an interesting conversation, but off behind the camera. But mate, to go over those rules, Matty really did elaborate. The loose carry, the strip. Benko's been screaming out, what's the difference? I guess, just throw you under the bus. What's the difference? What's interpretation? Because every referee, it comes down to interpretation.
Yep.
What's actually your definition, and how do you police it?
I don't know. You watch where the tacklers are coming in to the tackle. If they wrap up the ball and you see the pulling action, it's a strip, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just more of what the referee and the touch judges, like the angle that they can see at, and like if you can see that it's a clear strip, you're going to penalise it.
If it's solid contact and they've got it out in one arm.
Yeah, obviously common sense will prevail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes, like the help from your sideline officials, because especially you watch Clydesdale and a few blokes are bringing in this competition. Their strong defence, they have their arms on the levers that are coached at higher levels, and they do a lot of those pulling actions, but they might be on the ball.
Yeah.
Like it's a very hard thing for a referee to be facing from a different angle to pick up. And Scone do it really well, and all other sides try to limit it.
They strip very well, you mate.
No, not strip, Benko. They wrestle very well and stay the ruck.
Would it be fair to say, Jesse, that it's the most contentious rule in the game today?
It'll be up there, but everyone's got their own opinion.
It's very frustrating to watch. And look, and I tell you what, I wouldn't like to be doing it, mate, and sussing it out every week, and then because you hear the crowd, soon as and don't kid yourself, the good players know when to release the ball. If they know someone's tackling ball and all, they know when to release it at the right time, and it looks like that, it's just a really terribly frustrating rule the way it is, and I feel for you guys because it's very hard to see if you're not getting support from the two touch judges on the sideline. If you're not getting any help from the guys on the sideline, it's a struggle for you.
Yeah, no, it is. 6 eyes help. They're better than 2.
Yeah.
We can't see everything. No, we'll do our best.
So, with the new rules, with the wide up for sound and all that, the touch judges, are they still in the position to put their flag up and come on the field if you haven't heard them, or what's the ruling around that? Because I know these are all wide up at the moment.
Yep.
Some people don't. May not hear, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to say they don't listen, but if there's a blatant forward pass and you've called it and I haven't seen it, do you flag up, go on the field, or what's the?
It is still possible to do that, yeah. But the comms gear we got now is really good. It comes through pretty clear. You just got to make sure you don't have any gunk in your earpiece. But it comes through pretty clear, and most of the time you do hear it straight away. So.
And what's the worst habit at the moment you're seeing in Group 21 from a referee's point of view that the players just don't seem to be getting? Is it the ruck? Is it the onside? What is it?
Oh, I couldn't really pick one out.
What's your pet hate?
Oh, I don't really have one. But I just ref what's in front of me, you know.
Yep.
I can't say I pick on things, but I used to be real bad for offside at the kickoff.
Yeah, right.
That was a couple of years back.
We were talking about that just a minute ago, weren't we? About
it was a couple of years back, but no, I don't.
You see, that rule went out about 1980.
Yeah.
Before you were born.
Well before.
It wasn't penalised since 1980, 85.
Back when they used to push the scrum back.
Yeah, where scrums didn't matter. But
but as I said, I just ref what's in front of me. It's all you can do.
Yep.
So.
Especially last year when the big penalties were, the big focus was on the ruck, playing the ball with your foot. We saw a lot of penalties there last year, rolling it through. And I don't know, I've missed a bit of footy lately, but I know the games that I've been at, we haven't really seen so much scrutiny on that as much.
Yeah, well, last year, as an association ourselves, we sort of sat down and talked about what we're going to, like if we're going to hammer down on it like everyone else was, or if we weren't going to be.
That was a new sort of thing.
Yeah, because everyone was hammering down on it, so we thought, we'll give it a crack too. So we strict on it pretty much all year. But haven't really spoke about it this year.
I think it's picked up, but I think generally all the players are better at it now.
Yeah, that was the idea of nailing down on it too, to get them to play it properly, play it with your foot, you know. Try and vocab it to them if we can. If we see them a couple of times, we'll vocab it to them and then we'll penalise.
Well, we just say about having a general attempt at it.
Yeah, that's right.
Start, if you give a warning, well, people will cop that.
Yeah.
Now, ruck speed, that's been one of my pet hates this year, is there seems to be the differentiate. As Benko alluded to earlier, the strong tackle.
Yep.
Does my head in.
It really does get to him, and it's not just on the show and on match day, it's when we're talking on the phone that really wants clarification on that. The strong tackle, how is that?
No, we went over it with you last year. Remember we had a yarn last year, Marcus and Rhino, is that a one-on-one tackle around the legs is not a class as a strong tackle.
Oh, me myself, I wouldn't idea that as strong. No.
Yeah, but if he takes a guy down who's charging at you at 100 mile an hour, you take him down with a hip to ankle tackle, and you're the only guy in that tackle. Why is that not deemed a strong tackle?
Are
we become more focused on it's got to be ball and all?
Nah.
So you have to be on your back?
Me personally, I'd like the contact maybe, and the force in it, where they knock them backwards, knock them against their momentum. That's what I'd do as a strong tackle.
Yeah.
See, I don't know how they rule it in Sydney or whatever outside this group, but you watch a bloke like Jake Trebojevic, needs better than anyone at the hip, or hips to the legs.
Yeah.
And I class that as great contact.
Yeah.
But he's not getting the benefit.
But he's not getting the benefit, so I don't know. If it's
so we actually said that
you got to find your back. If you're on your front, you're fine.
We actually said that, Marcus. We actually said that about a month ago. Yeah. We actually I raised it here. I said poor old Jake Trebojevic would be absolutely filthy because he's not hearing a strong tackle every time he goes and makes a strong tackle. Finucane from Melbourne would be another guy. He'd be shattered, you know. But you see, if a guy surrenders a tackle.
Yep.
We're saying that the attacking the defensive team gets the benefit of an extra couple of seconds or whatever because the guy surrendered a tackle. Now, is a surrender tackle worse than a one-on-one, great one-on-one, old school type tackle around the legs and you've got a guy down? For me, yes, that one-on-one guy around the hips to the legs has to be rewarded for having the balls to actually go down old school and make a tackle old school. Too many people are shirt grabbing, turnstiling these days. Yeah. The guy that is still showing the technique, so to speak, Marcus and Rhino, the guy that's still showing a decent technique, and the reason people don't tackle around the legs these days, and tell me if I'm wrong, is because they're scared to. It's much easier to grab a bloke around the shirt, grab grab a shirt and drag him to the ground. It's much easier to do that than tackle a guy, put your head in the right spot, tackle a guy one-on-one down the legs. For me, that guy has to be rewarded, and maybe not this year, but the NRL, the referees, whoever they are, they need to make these changes to the game because we're just going away. We're just making it too easy for players to shirt grab, as far as I'm concerned.
And I think the biggest thing going on now is the coaching's getting coached towards Sydney, like a Melbourne. Everyone sees how Melbourne sort of control rucks, and it's all about upper body wrestling. So your first contact is around the ball up high. It's not hitting at your knees.
That's it.
And that's you're well, they teach that right. You're about the third man because you're getting wrapped, two at the top, one at the bottom, get the legs twisted and get them on their back. So I don't know what level it's starting at, because I'm not involved in junior levels, but I know it's going into senior levels now. You hardly see a bloke go, oh, let's go.
No, you don't.
One-on-one tackle and
one eye.
So is a two-man tackle? Can a two-man tackle be deemed as a strong tackle?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the debate. A two-man tackle can be deemed a strong tackle. It's easy for me and Bowser or me and Rhino to tackle a guy and get him down. But a guy on his own, one guy on his own that's got the balls to put his head around the guy's leg area when he's full charge, it has to be rewarded for that, with a couple extra seconds. Has to be rewarded. It's ludicrous.
Well, I don't think this bloke here can fix it.
No, I know. I'm not having a go at Jesse. This is all opinion stuff, isn't it? But
it is.
I think deep down Jesse probably agrees with me, but his hands are tied that he can't give the guy, a fair income guy, a couple of extra seconds in the tackle.
And the probably the hard thing, in fairness to the referees, is such a broad spectrum of what defines it. Like, your opinion might be different to
my opinion counts for shit,
but Nick Martin's or whatever.
That's right.
The different refs, like the main refs, ref and Corey Martin or Dave Windle might have a different opinion to you.
Yeah.
You know, and that goes across every group of country footy, even into Sydney.
NRL even does.
Yeah, it sort of makes it hard. So you can only go off there.
What do you reckon, Ryan?
I've got your back, mate.
What do you reckon, Ryan? You're a back rower. You're a forward.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I reckon it comes down a little the way like the ball carrier ends up on the ground. Like if he has a good run, finds his front, I reckon he can be entitled for a quick play of the ball.
Oh, absolutely.
But then, so that kind of tells defenders to tackle high, wrap the ball up, to also to stop the offload, and then get in a good position, end up on top, get him on his back. That's a strong tackle, slowly play the ball down.
Yep.
So
no, I don't deny. I'm not saying get rid of that one.
Yeah.
But if a one-on-one guy stops a guy from going forwards, gets him down and stops him from unloading for a second phase, has to be rewarded for that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it comes down to interpretation of the impact at the time.
He sends him backwards from that tackle. It's going to be
strong tackle.
But
what you're saying is side on,
momentum sort of thing.
Rhino's argument is similar. If I'm running flat out and old mate hits me around the legs and I'm on the ball, I want to quick play the ball.
You're on your front.
Yeah, front. You'll be made to tap around the legs.
It makes it hard for a 70, 80 kilo halfback tackling 120 kilo back row. What are we teaching them?
When were you a 70 kilo halfback?
I never was. I'm talking about me. It's just like, look at a Holman over there.
I remember Squirt one day in Scone when Squasher Wooden was still playing. First tackle, he went to tackle Squasher high, got bumped off, so he went back to the line, come off again, went tackling low, got knocked out, knee to the head, so...
Squirt, much preservation.
Might be a 70 kilo difference there, but...
just a little bit more.
Look, you've also been down to the Country Rugby League on the weekend. We didn't have you in the competition just in the round just gone. What was the story with that?
Nothing big. I'm the delegate for the CRLRA meeting, so we had a CRLRA meeting down at the New South Wales Centre of Excellence on Saturday. So it was just
Tell us about the Centre of Excellence building, Jesse.
It's
pretty impressive.
High tech, pretty flashy.
Is it true that they put them on a treadmill, running like watching a game, and they quiz them? Is that true?
They could, mate.
No, you haven't been there.
Nah, I didn't train.
We might do that with you one day. Get some different blast forms happening, and just see how you react.
I thought you were going to say the panel members get on that treadmill.
No chance.
No chance. As long as it's feeding food to us, I'm happy with the treadmill being there.
As long as it's a sushi train.
We went on the tour through the precinct. Obviously, the rooms that weren't being used by other businesses such as Kari and couple others, but yeah, all the bits that New South Wales have access to, we sort of went through there, went through the sheds, the change rooms, on the field, in the gym, the pool, like a horse pool in there. It's massive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Who's the best referee in the comp at the moment in the NRL, you reckon?
Oh, I don't know. They're all.
Who do you reckon?
Oh.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin.
Kevin. No,
He's up there. He's up there. I can't remember. Is it Atkinson? Atkinson. Is it?
Atkins.
Yeah, he goes all right.
Yeah. They all do a good job.
I just
I've
don't like.
heard from a few
I mean,
people.
I like the referees, Jesse, that they'll get a try scored and they stop guessing. They're making it their point to stop guessing, and that's another. I mean, we haven't got a show long enough for me to go over all my beefs about the game.
I'm going to get Jesse's number.
At least Group 21 boys don't have to guess because they haven't got the benefit of a replay.
Yeah.
But the NRL referees, it's just guesswork.
Yeah.
It's just guesswork, mate. They're guessing after time and they haven't seen stuff and they're saying try or no try. It's just bullshit. Not that
Can't put it any better.
Hey, excuse me, Benko. How was your day?
next subject.
I'm not even going to talk about anything to do with leaving me out of this conversation. He's bloody.
Keep going.
Wow.
Go home.
I'm thinking about leaving the studio and going home. Last week's matches, boys, a few cracking matches we got to see. I got to get up to Murrundi as well with Ryan and watch the game up there at Murrundi, the foot of the Rangers. Great 2 games of football, I think. Personally, I thought the ladies' game was just as good as the men's game. Yeah. Definitely got and I think it was 4-0 at half time for the ladies' side.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But we'll go through the ladies' results first. Murrundi 14 defeated Muswellbrook 4, Scone 44 got Aberdeen 0, and Merriwell 22, Singleton 0. I think that Singleton game was also pretty close. Benko.
I didn't get there. I only got there for the start of the juniors, Reggie. So I didn't have the benefit of watching the girls take out that.
They're a class act though. The Merriwell side, they're very from the fullback right through to the forwards there. But the Murrundi girls, I had to ask you for your names, but Missy Peters, is it?
Yeah,
fantastic. And the way she can pass the ball at speed, and she is one quick lady. She's very good. Gracie Gallen played a terrific game, and of course Hannah Rando. Do you want to talk about her?
I think all the girls in Rando have kind of benefited of Dale Rando coming in and helping out this year, giving Marty a hand. Just get a bit of structure, and I think they're all playing a bit well together, like using tip-ons instead of everyone just trying to lead take and kind of been renowned for just trying to run around and whoever's the quickest is the best kind of thing. So putting on a few tip-ons and plays and turn them under and stuff like that. So I think all the girls are kind of benefit from that this year.
I think I saw that from the Muswellbrook side, Marcus. They sort of went from one side of the field to the other side of the field in 2 tackles and then back to the other side trying to find somewhere to get through rather than, the angled plays that you see from some of the sides.
Yeah, it's one thing. Every side's trying to look to get an edge. I think it's been around for a while now, this league tag, and everyone's sort of picked up. At the start was sort of one out, run past the play for 4 or 5 metres and then come back and play it. And everyone's starting to work things out, and different sides like the Scone side and Murrundi's been around there as well. They've sort of set the benchmark over the few years, and everyone's sort of following that suit, I think.
Yeah, no, they're doing really well. I think I even seen a mousetrap move from the girls' team up there.
Was that? Can you take credit for that, Holman? I know you.
I'm not too sure. There's a couple of girls that like to put some special stuff on, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't know.
And the kicking game was pretty good too for the ladies' league tag from the Murrundi side. They did really well. I mean, Kylie Saunders from Muswellbrook was very dangerous. She was near the ball, and Emily Huggins.
And a bit of ball. Actually, through the week, Hannah asked if I could take it anything over. She's playing a bit of fullback now and had to put up a few bombs for her. So she goes, you don't kick them as high as the other girls.
Oh dear. Not a kicker, mate?
Oh, I'm kicking, mate.
You used to right? You just kick goals, Holman.
Yeah.
Back in your younger days?
Back in the younger days, yeah.
In the under 18s, Benko?
I didn't have the pleasure of seeing Ryan in there. Oh, yeah, I did 1 year. Yeah. In the under 18s, yeah.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Coaching back
then. Yeah, good side.
We did. We had a gun side back then.
Under 18s, Benko?
What's that? Oh, That's what you meant. A bit slow today, everyone. Scone 24, Aberdeen 0. Singleton 42 really smashed Muswellbrook 10 in that game, and Muswellbrook were in that game.
Yeah.
I reckon they were in that game.
Oh.
They fought back in the first half, didn't they? The second half, they probably didn't need that half-time break, the Rams boys, but Singo came out and they just ran right in the second half. And tell me if I'm right, Jesse, the young 5'8", is it Purnell?
By Parnell.
But yeah, he had a great game, and so did number 11, is it Jackson Shade?
Yeah. I think he's a skipper this year.
Yeah, mate, they were outstanding, those two
What
boys.
about my mate at the front row?
Really outstanding.
Catamandra. Yeah, he played a big game.
He did. You're 100% right, Benko. Muswellbrook sort of crawled their way back to it at half time, and then
Look, they only had one guy on the bench, the Rams, and I think a second guy came.
Clift, he was like,
late in the game. They didn't have a lot to rotate, and Singleton took full advantage of that.
Muswellbrook young Dengate. He is a class act. He is something special.
He's a good footballer, and he turns up with a good attitude training, and he's been really good the last sort of month, 5 weeks at training, and he's been a real leader of that junior side, and he's just looking for the boys to follow suit. And it is hard when you've got limited numbers, especially with the bigger boys. You've got some big boys this year with the Jai Kings and Guy Dodds.
Kingy went really well.
And but with sort of 2 on the bench, when you're sort of playing against 7 on the bench, it's sort of hard to rotate, and it's a funny age under 18s too. You just got to keep them going, and I think it's a pretty wide open comp, the 18s, and everyone's got a chance on the day.
Yeah. In reserve grade, Bowser?
Reserve grade, Muswellbrook 32, Murray 20, Greater Brankston 28, Devon 6, Scone and Aberdeen had 22 all draw, and Singleton 20, Aberdeen 16.
So some big results there.
Singo beat Marywall, not Singo beat Aberdeen.
Oh, Singo beat Aberdeen. I played that twice. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, you said
you fell for it.
No, so did I, and I was there. Hang on.
Singo to Marywall. No, that was a big game. Undefeated Marywall. You were there too, Bowser.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
You fell for it. That was, and of course, Christian Kirby. Wow, you wouldn't stop talking about him.
Well, I didn't know.
I think there's a man crush there.
I did not know. I asked who this giant was. He was out there.
He's grown the hair.
I actually said, God help the competition if he gets fit.
Yeah.
He had an outstanding game.
I'm not going to tell him to his face.
That was a really good clash.
Yeah.
Really good match, that Singo Marywall game, and a bit of a shock. That was Marywall's first loss, wasn't it, Reggie?
Yeah.
So full marks to the Singleton side, and in saying that, Singo, they never stopped. They were just really relentless. Their drive was fantastic, and they deserved that victory.
That was one good thing about that game itself. Both sides just kept coming and playing football.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, they weren't had to throw the big plays or whatever, but they just kept playing football.
Yeah.
Oh, they belted each other too. Yeah. They really hit hard.
You've played both them sides, Singo and Marywall, so a bit unexpected for Marywall to take that loss, or do you think Singleton's they've been competitive in reserve grade for a number of years?
Yeah.
Last year they had a low,
No, it's a pretty good effort by Singo. Like Marywall's been the benchmark this year. They were a good side across the park, so for Singo to come out and put a performance on the field like that, so
Reggie, I agree, Rhino, and what Marcus said about the under 18s. That reserve grade competition, I'm telling you, that is the most open competition we have out of all 4. Any side, I don't want to be detrimental to anyone, but any side on their day, given availability of players, and I think that's the key. Any side with the right availability of players can take that reserve grade title out.
I'll get to that when we do the draw. But Scone versus Aberdeen, 22 all. Yep. Scone's a first grade. We've always given them a big rap saying that team could compete in first grade. The likes of Freddie Adams and the likes playing in that side. Aberdeen.
Did you ref, or you were a touch judge?
No, I wasn't on that game actually.
Okay.
But yeah, sat up in the stand for the first half. It was just back and forward.
Yeah.
Sean Millwall played really well for Aberdeen. led him around really well. So
yeah, Greater Brankston 28, Denman 6. Now that's a bit of a confidence booster for the Greater Brankston boys. One team in the competition, so hopefully they took away a lot from that. And I know positive things are happening down there behind the scenes at the moment. So I'm looking forward to 2020 for Greater Brankston. I think it's going to be a good year. Muswellbrook 32, Murrumbidgee 20, as we spoke about. I think young Butto had a fantastic game for Muswellbrook. The front rowers, I'm just trying to remember, but Luke Cameron got players player for the Muswellbrook side. I think that was warranted. But Nathan Graham, biggest defensive match I've seen him play. He was belting them. So and I mean dominating in that defence, as well as your brother. I think he had a bit of a running battle with someone out there on our side.
He usually does. Yeah, he finds himself in trouble. It was a good game. Muswellbrook's number 7. I hadn't seen him this year before. Was that there?
Mick Henry.
Mick Henry, he's a bit of a class act. I think he scored 2 and set a couple up.
Yeah.
Disappointing again for Miranda. It's kind of been the way that's been all year. They're in the game, they just can't get across the line.
And I think there was lack of numbers too. There was a couple of poor on the bench.
Only about 5 pulled out on game day.
Yeah.
They were right the night before and then no good on game day.
A few bad oysters.
So that's big gum.
A few too many at the water.
Well, that's what I said. A few bad oysters, we call them.
Oh, Ray Day, the shotgun. He goes, I'm not playing today. And he said, you got on the drink or you went to Dubbo races the day before you were saying. And he had a gutful. He said he won 15 under on the page and he got up it and not much sleep. And then he rocked up game days, ready to sit in the beer corner. And Corey said, take your boots on, mate. We're a bit short. So he was
nearly literally.
That's old school.
Yeah. Singleton in first grade, Singleton 38 defeated Denman 16 and Scone 32, Aberdeen 28. The Singo Denman match, Frank Paul Nuasala, I think he answered the call for what everyone's been wanting to see, and everyone's saying that is Frank staying, is he going? Of course he's staying. I've stood to that from day one. He's staying at Singleton for this year and next year. But he answered the call. We offload. They just couldn't shut him down, Benko.
No, he was outstanding. Frank Paul, that was the best game I'd seen him. I think he's played in 3 of the 4 Singo Denman clashes. He was outstanding. He was really good. He's solid. He had a really good a really good battle with the other Denman back rowers. It was they just really went at each other, which was good. And it got to 22-16. Yeah. They were down 22-0 at half time, Denman, and they got to 22-16. But then there was a couple of little things that could have went either way, and they just they didn't. I don't know how to explain it, but Denman they couldn't rotate as well as they can, and Bombers mentioned it a few times in a couple of the calls that we've had. Just couldn't rotate their subs as best as they probably want to. As for Singo,
Brody Rinkin.
Yeah. The little guys out of dummy half were outstanding.
Will
Newenhouse, Brody Rinkin, Morgan Emmety came in from the wing and he was just running right.
Cody Arden off the bench.
Tommy Johnson.
Yeah.
Those 4 guys were really cutting around that A defender area really hard, and too many occasions Denman went to sleep around the middle of the ruck and behind the ruck. They were just carving them. And
it's got to the point though, Benko, where we're really sitting back going, Will Newenhouse is moving into dummy house. Hang on, let's see what happens here. And the other opposition just doesn't pick up on it.
I don't know.
He's 20 metres away.
And I made the comment in commentary, boys, is that I don't know at what point does the light bulb moment go on when Will goes to dummy half. Yeah. Seriously, I mean, everyone should be right on their toes. As soon as you see Will Newenhouse go to dummy half, the whole defensive line should be, why are they, what are they standing back on their heels for? They've got to go forward and talk.
He's been doing it for a number of years. I reckon he's one of the best dummy half runners in the group.
Absolutely.
He's not the best.
He's got the great upper body strength as well. When he gets that defensive line, he usually bumps off one. But I thought Jacob Ellis played well too in the halves. They stood off him.
Yeah, Jacob
got the ball in 2 hands and he's run across field. They all stood back and there was just a gap opened up. Yeah. And he was like a whip it through out the gate when the gate's open.
I think he missed Daniel on the field. I think he missed his brother on the field. He probably didn't have that extra option to look for. But he and Logan put on a great try out wide. You know, they were out. Yeah, they just had a great run out wide, and I thought the back row of Denman were really solid. Without, you know, they just, like I said, right now I just don't think they've got the rotation that they want off the bench.
Well, with the inclusion of Dylan Thorne now, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on positions once they get their full contingency there.
Well, if you keep add Dylan with Pritch and Scrimmager and they're fit, well, it's a fair rotation.
Well, that was the first I heard about it on Sunday from Buzz Reynolds. I didn't understand.
Loves it, doesn't he?
He does love it, doesn't he?
Loves
He's
a scoop.
digging out a scoop.
Loves a scoop.
Oh dear.
But it also
that's what happens when you
it also
actually
gets
interact
back
with
to
the clubs.
It also gets back to. It also gets back to like you were saying, Marcus, is that the perfect scenario is having everyone available right now. And I've said it again. I said it in week 1, week 2. People have got work commitments. They can't make it available every weekend to work, and I think that's the case. It's certainly the case at Denman. I know it's the case. It's like I think every second or third week, maybe Adam Clydesdale and JJ Apthorpe can't play for Scone.
They didn't play on
They
Sunday.
didn't play on Sunday.
Well, there you go. That was what we're going to
So
do.
it's
To you was
a juggle.
32-28. I was going to ask you, Scone versus Aberdeen. You had a front row seat of that.
I did, mate. Yeah, no, it was a really good game.
Yep.
Yeah, back and forth all game. Yeah.
That's what you said about reserve grade.
But no,
good in New Line.
definitely no.
There's no doubt.
I don't know. It was
No
yeah,
doubt.
So who was out? Did you say JJ?
JJ and Adam.
Adam Clydesdale. Aberdeen Field's a really good team.
Yep.
Too. They obviously were missing Dan Hoogerworth. Big
Benny Baker.
big
Well,
hole.
We hit the.
Benny wasn't playing.
And it's
either,
not a
yeah.
scoop, but Shane Hasselman, he's going to be back on the field too. He's just a couple of weeks to get some fitness into him. I think that's going to be big for Aberdeen. And of course they had 12 fresh people. They had people pull out in the morning of it as well. So I don't know why people are pulling out in the morning of games these days.
Tell me if I'm right, Jesse. I heard that young Curtis Irving played reserve grade full game, and then they asked him to back up in A grade, and he played in A grade. Did he play on the wing in A grade?
He did, mate. He played all A.
That was a great effort from young Swervo.
Oh, I'm not 100% sure about the reserve grade game. As I said, I didn't watch all of it.
Well, I'm only going what I was told that he did play reserve grade, and then he backed up in A grade. And
Yeah, but I don't know why these players are pulling out on the game day. Like you didn't see this years ago. Like when you're hearing 4 or 5 players pull out game day, it's becoming a bit.
Even if you've been out, we were playing bush footy, and if you had a few too many beers the night before, you made a commitment to the club and the team and your mates, and
Mate, so
suck it up and turn up and play.
Yeah, he'd probably be as fit as I don't know Adam Gretsch.
he's going to go off at you.
The phone will be going shortly.
I'm just waiting for the text messages as we speak. But just the ladders, guys, we'll quickly run through that. Scone is on top in the Ladies League, tackle on 14. Marywar is second on 11. 10 points Musselbrook, 8 points, 10 points Murrundi, 8 points Musselbrook, Singleton 5, Aberdeen 4, Denman 2. There's been a qualification breach for Musselbrook and Denman in that as well. Now we get to the under-18s competition. Singleton are out in front on 14 points. Then Aberdeen on 8, Scone on 8, Musselbrook on 8, Denman 2 points. So that's going to be a tight finish for the third in that mixture there, the third, fourth, and second.
Second even, yeah.
But in the Merriwalk, this is where we're talking about the reserve grade competition. Merriwalk on 14 points, Scone 11, Singleton 10, Singleton 10, Aberdeen 9, Musselbrook 8. Stop laughing, you're throwing me off. Greater Brixton are on 2. Now Murrundi have lost points due to a qualification breach, which really has hurt them, and Denman as well, but Denman's down at the bottom. They're both on 0 now. Qualification breach for both of them. So Murrundi would have been a good shot with it, but now it's going to be a hard track to try and make it into that top 4.
Very hard track, buddy. Pretty disappointing. Look, with the boys at Murrundi, they're rallying up. They had a couple of Lockie Dwakin come from Scone. Was a good attribute in the centres there on the weekend, and another couple of blokes, but that's just the way it is, you know. Like, no one intentionally goes to, break the rules or anything like that. Just
yeah.
But if it
it's
does
an administrational.
yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
But it's you can't be doing that. So
Yeah.
no.
And seeing who the top 4 is in the first grade competition, Scone on top on 14.
Let me guess.
Aberdeen on 6, and Singleton and Denman on 4. Singleton in front on 4 and against, which I think that's what it's going to come down to for that 3rd and 4th spot.
What were Aberdeen on?
Aberdeen are on 6 points. So yeah, you got.
I thought they'd be on more than that.
Well, they've won 3.
Have they?
So they've lost.
Oh,
4.
that's right. Okay.
Okay, so that makes 6.
No, because they've played. No, I'm looking at it because some teams have played. I mean, Demon and Singo have played 4 times out of 7 rounds.
Yeah,
so that's right. No, that's understandable, Richie.
So they're right out. Like
All
Scone's pretty much, you could put them down as hosting the major semi-final, I believe. So that's where, but it's going to be who finishes second out of Aberdeen. Singleton, what I saw on the weekend was fantastic. I think they're looking the goods, but like I said, Aberdeen, you throw those, especially Shane Hasselman, and the other players, you know, Cameron Savage comes back, you get the Marcus Marsh there, they're going to be a strong one, and then and Denman's got Dylan Thorne, and isn't there a couple out injured as well?
Yeah, Daniel Ellis is one.
But will he be back?
I've got no idea.
Well,
you're the scoop man, Rich. Come on, mate.
I'm not taking your job, mate.
Can't pick and take the scoops.
I'm not taking your job, Reggie. You're the buzz.
I'll speak to me mate Gretchy.
James Hooper gets on the TV overnight and asks the media bloke behind the camera.
I know.
He knows the information, mate.
I've got no idea.
Well, hey, I can't even rely on Adam Gretch to give me the correct side these days.
Well, he did, but he gave it to you last week with all nicknames.
Yeah.
Remember that?
No, I knew who he's talking about. He does it every week. But when they ran out there, there wasn't a couple of numbers in the wrong spot.
No,
Adam Hamilton was
there was no number 2.
Adam Hamilton went from number 4 to number 5, and it worked, Gretchy.
That goes back to what Benko was talking about. It's not just that easy to say
It's
Thursday or Friday or even, as you say, blokes from morning the game. Sunday morning. Going, here's our side.
Well, the Singleton lineup that we had also changed just before the games kicked off.
Yeah.
You know, and Mark Fogarty, who had a very good game, had a really good game. He went from fullback to winger at some point during the game. Brody Rinkin went from fullback to halfback. Yep. And it was just, it's all over the shop, and I'm sure the other teams, I reckon every team would be suffering, mate.
Oh. So as my phone goes off, this weekend's games, guys, I just want to point out too, Softy McSoft here in the studio has brought the heater closer to himself. So
yeah, forget everyone else, right? No, we'll be right. Thanks, mate.
I said to him when he turned up in shorts.
Nah. He's having 2 pelicans here with thongs on.
Yeah, but you know what he said? Glen Innes boy, mate, this is beautiful weather.
Summer afternoon. Good old Holman from Murrundi. He's been living down Scone for too long.
Adam Gretch has just sent me a message saying, I love you. But back to the games this weekend. On Saturday, Denman take on Scone in all 4 grade, kicking off at 1 o'clock for the first grade match there. Any idea who's refereeing that at the moment? No idea? No. Denman versus Scone, boys. Tip at Denman. Old Boys Day, Sponsors Day for Denman.
20 to 5, isn't it?
20 to 5.
Oh, look, Denman will have to pull out a minor miracle to beat Scone in the form they're in. I'm being honest. I'm not pissing anyone's pocket. They have to pull out a major miracle.
No, we know you're cranky today.
They'll have to dig deep, and their line speed in defence and attack has to be much, much better. And look, it's a work in progress, but Scone are already there.
Yep.
And that's the handicap that they will have. That Watsy has got the benefit of from 1 to 17 a very, very strong squad.
I can't go past Scone.
Yeah. Is Webby still playing in the second row, Denman, or
who's that?
Webby's floating.
No, Webby started at fullback, Rhino.
Right.
He's been playing fullback because Dan Ellis is out injured, mate. So, and look, he's been playing very well. I'll tell you the guy last week for Denman that played really well was Reynard Ladigan.
Yeah,
Reynard was outstanding out in the centres. He first played centres for us in 2017 in our under-18s team at the Rams, and I did start him in the back row, but I said we needed some defence out wide, and I said, you want to play centre? And he went out there and he killed it, mate. And he's going exceptionally well, so well done to Reynard.
I think the big thing about Scone is they set a platform, but if you talk to the boys from Scone, and I watched a few games of them, their completion rates are nowhere near where they want to be. And if they get to those completion rates, they're going to take some stopping. But Denver and Old Boys Day, you're starting a few fires, the boys having a few beers out there, they'll be looking to spark them on. And
they need, and I know Reggie, he will tweak on it. They just need to, those crucial moments where they just let themselves down with some spilt ball. Those little 1% errors that they're making in their own half is really killing them at the moment. And I know that they're addressing it, but they need to start doing it sooner rather than later.
The other game on that day is Murrundi taking on Greater Branxton in reserve grade at Murrundi. Coming off the 28-6 win over Denman, that's going to be a nice little bus trip for Greater Branxton up there either way.
Yeah.
Going back.
The talk through the year, like, if we, just earlier on a couple of games ago, Scott was saying if we can knock over Masarook and, maybe get not an easy game, but a bit lighter of a game going into Greater Branxton, hopefully get up a few points, but it's probably not the case anymore. Greater Branxton look like they found some form, and you never rule the side out. So they played a good game against Aberdeen a few weeks back, didn't they? They were only 9 players or 10 players.
Yeah, they did.
No, I think it'll be a good match. It's the only game up there on that day from Murrundi.
I'll tell you what though, you just pull a crowd up there.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, it was as big as Singleton, Benko.
Listen, the main talking point for me last week was when you said that the best risole sandwich was at Murrundi.
It was. I got the hot tip. Someone, Kurt Barnes told me.
There'll be a lot of ladies in the canteens that will be going off their heads.
Oh, well,
I'd be very careful what you order in other canteens from now on.
No, I just said to you, they were the best. They were bloody delicious.
I don't doubt that.
The best sandwiches or
but
sandwich?
I'll throw the challenge out there. Mrs. Fitz will look after us, and she'll accept the challenge out there at Aberdeen on the weekend. So
Sucking up there, Benko.
Surely does.
Aberdeen versus Singleton.
You'll do anything for a free food, ladies and gentlemen.
Not anything. Aberdeen versus Singleton. 10:20 kick-off for the Ladies League tag right through to 2 o'clock in first grade. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. The reserve grade, I always love Aberdeen versus Singleton, Marcus. We used to talk about it on the radio when we did it. I love them clashes. But the first grade one, I hate to be a fence sitter, but they've had a 20-all draw or 22-all draw. This could be the first draw that we see in first grade, I reckon.
The Aberdeen side with the inclusion of Hoogs and a few others that come back, Savage didn't play on the weekend, well, that'll be a big positive for them. But I think Singleton's still got a lot of upside to them. I think it's sort of a hard thing. They bring in Frank Paul, and everyone's expected Frank to just provide these miracles. But I thought that locals blokes they had last year were great footballers. To the Will Newenhouses, the Tommy Johnsons, those
James Bradley comes back.
Bradley.
And Jake Smith is out at the moment.
Jake Smith. I just think if they get back into their click and seen to on the weekend, I didn't get to the game, but geez, I think Singleton got a lot of upside, so I'll take Singleton to keep it rolling on.
Mm-hmm. What about yourself?
I'll run with Aberdeen. 4.5. I haven't really watched too much of the first grade footy, but I know they've got a lot of heart, Aberdeen, and they always just seem to find,
at home too, so...
Yeah, at home as
when
well.
Forrest kicking games on, we've talked about it multiple times, but when they're on and they follow him, and they're in the mindset they're going to fire Liam for it today, they're a totally different side.
I think the inclusions of a couple of big bodies in the middle, they might have been lacking a bit in the forwards there a couple of last games, so... Did you say Savage is back? So.
Savage is, I think he's back this week, yeah.
Travis Bateman play last week?
No, he pulled out too.
Okay.
Travis Bateman, I've been impressed with the Tyler Prince Campbell. He's played really well in the second row for him, so he played second row centres at times, so he's been really good. I think that'll be a cracking match. Who's your tip, Benko?
I'm going to go for the Tigers at home. Singo, I reckon it'll be really close, like you said, Reggie. I agree with that comment. It's going to be a great game, a really good game.
Who's your tip, Jesse?
No comment.
He just took his Red Dog shirt off.
Wow. Speaking of that, I'm glad you...
Oh, no.
It was embarrassing last week. I was a rose between 3 Singleton blokes, and Reggie, he refused to take his Singleton jacket off that Matt Kenny gave him after the game. And
I thought
Matt needed security to go and get it off his shoulders, feeding him. He wouldn't take it off.
I thought he might have been downstairs in the canteen.
It was pathetic. It was pathetic.
I did say
no, thank you to Matt Kenny, because I did forget to take my jacket down there and he lent me his. So
he left a Tigers jumper on this weekend.
Sorry, Tigers jumper. Tigers give me a jumper. I'll whack her on the
There we go.
Muswellbrook versus Merriwell in the ladies' league tag, also on Sunday at 11:30 and 12:30 at Muswellbrook. Marcus?
Well, I think it's a good test for the Muswellbrook side, especially in reserve grade. The girls, if they all stick together and work hard for each other, they can do anything too, but there'll be a good challenge for them. But really the reserve grade game, I think it's a couple of young kids there that are really growing in confidence each week, and I think it'll be a great test for them going forward. And like you say, Mickey Henry's sort of leading them, but the growth in the Wade McKenzie's and probably like Jaden Dix, Caleb Pearce's, Benko had a lot to do with them in the juniors, and sort of, and Buddo, they're getting the taste in the senior football. It's I think this is a real good test to see where they're going, and I think Romain Jackson's back in this weekend, so he'll be one to lead Muswellbrook, hopefully.
Benko?
Mate, I'm going to go for a Muswellbrook victory. I think that the squad that Johnny and Mick Deacon have got there at the moment is a really good feel about it. I speak to the guys. I speak to Johnny quite regularly, and I speak to Bailey Carter, might have been the front row that you were looking for the end name earlier, Reggie, for the Rams, and I know they rotate there. But the squad that, as I see it, is only getting stronger, and I think with that group and the core group of people that they have there at the helm, I think they can go all the way. Not just this week.
What about yourself?
Sorry, Ryan.
No, you're right. I'm going to go Merriwell. I think they'll get over. Just there was a big factor in last week's game between Muswellbrook and Miranda, the goal kicking. I'm not sure if young Kane had an off day with the boot, but I think he only knocked a couple over from. It could have been 44 to 20 or something like that. So you missed it.
I was at training last night. You know who was leading the goal kicking practice? Don't know if you ever seen it, Benko. Wade McKenzie.
Yeah, he does. He kicks him.
And it's old school, straight down the line, and he was giving the boys some tips. He's the back row. So I think Wade's looking for a call up off deck. So
mate, I'll tell you what, he can kick a ball, Wade McKenzie.
Yeah, true. I think Merrill will be too good out there.
Now, also coming up, just before we finish the show, the Where There's a Will round is next weekend. That's going to be a fantastic round of football. I encourage everyone, even if you're not a rugby league spectator, to get out there and support it. Of course, Scone's got what they're calling the magic round, from right through to the sixes, through to the seniors that day.
They've even got league tag there Friday night.
Yeah, so it's
going to be massive.
It's going to be a massive weekend. If you can get along to any matches, if you're a rugby league supporter, even if you're out from outside of our group, come along and watch it. Benko will be taking the reins for me the next 2 weeks while I have a break with Marcus.
Thanks for letting me know, Rick.
And of course, young Ben behind the camera. So we thank you for your time. And like I said, everyone is doing their best with what we're doing with the Footy Fever, and it's great for the support that we've had. And we do thank everyone, and especially, having you come along, Jesse, even though you got Benko in a bad mood day.
She's not in over there. No, he's all good, mate. He's good.
Yeah. Don't pick on Jesse. He's my mate.
Poor old Jesse.
I'll let you know what number I've got in the doubles.
He's got no say on the rules, mate. This is high. This is way higher than our pay scale.
Yeah.
That's why Benko looked into the camera earlier and mentioned Shane Hayes.
Oh, he does it every week.
I do it every week, and the day Haynes comes here, it'll be a blessing.
I think he's going to skip you. I just think that you're not going to hear
he'll brush me like a...
Come the grand finals, semi-finals, he'll be up here commentating with us again. But
he'll be up here for sure, because he'll be on a junket somewhere. You think of Kev.
And then him and Joey will be back overseas, won't they, on another field trip?
He's got some frequent fire points, ain't he?
No problem. Right, Marcus, thanks for coming in, mate. Look after the ship for the next 2 weeks. You and Benko, so...
I don't know if I'll be able to look after these
When's Bomber coming back?
Oh, I messaged him today. And
he got an APB on Bomber.
There's a few in front of me. Schultz has made a fair impression. At least
I
think he's well in front of me.
Schultz has done
and Matty Kenny, job. I don't know how he'll go in here. But
Matty Kenny will be here as of next week too.
If he's got it all polished up, he'll be shining in here. He'll love it.
But Jesse, thanks for coming along, mate. We do appreciate it. next time I'll make sure I'll give Benko a bit of a massage before he gets in.
I'm freezing cold because Rhino's flogged the hood.
He lives at the foot of the ranges.
I know.
So, yeah, no, Rhino, thanks very much, mate, and well said. The rugby league community has done well, and well done to you and your family for the way, you've come out the other side of this injury, so...
Cheers, Reg. Thanks for that.
And, all the best. Well, boys, until this weekend, I guess that's it for the show, and we'll see you, these boys will see you next week.